Hey everybody, it's Theresa. So I'm going to do another cover up today. This is a canvas that I did probably 8 months to almost a year ago, and it was all the colors that I wanted to use for the cabin, but the design just did not come out the way I wanted it for the cabin. So I decided to hold on to it and rework it after I got a little bit more practice, and then thought a little bit more about what I wanted to do for the cabin. So I thought about it. I'm not sure if this is going to be the pattern, but one I did earlier, I kind of like the way that came out, so I'm going to do something a little similar. Might have to mix up a little bit more paint as I go. I'm going to be using more white and more tan than last time. Excuse me, more tan than white than I did last time. I have my homemade navy, which is a very dark navy. Actually, there's a clump in there now. I've got to get that out. When you mix your paints with Floetrol, this is typically where the clumps will come from, is your Floetrol. It dries very much like glue, to where you are going to have thicker spots if there's a bunch of air left over in the bottle. So as your level gets down lower, you'll have more air in the top, and then it forms a skin if you're not using it regularly or shaking it. And then, oh, there we go. There it was. Those skins will form little blobs, and you cannot always see them when you pour them out. So a lot of times I end up straining the Floetrol before I mix it with the paints. Otherwise, you're just going to be picking blobs out of your paint all the time. Okay, so we have the homemade navy. We have the tan. We have white. Have a little bit left over from the pour earlier, which was all of these colors. With the exception of phthalo blue. The navy is made up of phthalo blue and black, and then this is my phthalo blue with one squirt of black in it, so I toned it down just a little bit. I didn't want it as bright as it can be. And then this is my very thick Deco Art Gold. I've had to really thin it down with extra water and Floetrol. So oh, and also the metallic turquoise, which the blues are going to be the big players in this, but I do want enough negative space so that your eye focuses on the rest of the canvas. So, okay, I also have my torch ready and get the bubbles out. Go ahead and loosen that. Okay, loosen that up a little bit and retighten just to make sure that it's ready. And the fire stick, I have that too. Okay, so again, I'm going to start off with the top and the bottom with a mixture of the tan and white. And then the center is where I'll do the pouring of the different colors into one cup. So again, you can use the cup from earlier. Still has a little bit of that mixture. Start with just a tiny base of tan. I'm going to go with the navy next. And again, I'm doing this light, dark, light, dark. A little bit of white on top of that. Gold. Turquoise. A nice heavy layer of the navy again. I'm going to work backwards. White. Turquoise. Tan. Okay, we'll let that sit. It will develop. It will change a little bit. Hey, Sandy. And I'm going to go ahead and get some white and tan poured on the canvas here. I might swirl it a little bit because I know I don't have enough tan currently mixed in order to do the complete background. Okay. So let's see, this is... I'm looking for a nice heavy layer on both of these tops and bottoms. This will dry fairly quick. The house is kept at about 78 degrees, but because it is sitting here in this bay window, and it's still like 90 degrees outside, they are drying very fast. The one I did earlier, you can already see a good inch of the top has already dried. This is a practice canvas. This will probably not be the final one that I take to the cabin, but it is the size that I need, so I'm really hoping it comes out well. I would like to just be able to be done with it. We're going to the cabin in a couple weeks, and it would be nice just to be able to use this. I am seeing a lot of spotting though, so I might actually have some trouble with this canvas. I don't remember using silicone on it, but like I said, this was probably 8 months or so ago that I used, maybe a year ago that I used this canvas. So maybe there's some silicone in it and I just don't recall. So if that's the case, this will end up only being a test canvas, because you can see it's going to ruin the entire look of it with these little dendrites popping up. So we'll see. I don't know, depends. Okay. Now, thinner layer in the middle, because this is where I'm going to put most of the tan. I'm actually just going to kind of scrub that in a little bit harder. We can rub these areas that I keep seeing them crop up in. Maybe we can rub those away. I just don't know. Silicone tends to really mess up your canvas if you pour over it and you haven't cleaned it off. So, but I don't have another big one. I don't have another big one handy that already has all the plastic off. So we'll just go ahead and use this and see what happens. And then if the color scheme works out, that's fantastic. If not, then that's all right too. That's why we re-pour on these, right, Sandy? Otherwise, we would just have hundreds and hundreds of canvases that were only used for practice. All right, so pour this right in the middle. Hope everybody's having a nice 4th. We're getting a little bit of rain here. That is supposed to go away by 8:30, I think. Okay, so I have determined that this canvas is just going to completely mess up, so this is absolutely a test. It's not going to hold the paint, it's just going to keep bubbling up. So it's just, we just deal with it, right? A new technique, Sandy. I'll have to talk about it off camera with you, because I don't want to announce it quite just yet. But a new technique that I'm going to try, and I will add that to my classes if it works out. Maybe make that part of the advanced class. Okay, so again, I'm losing the navy. This navy must be heavier than the rest of the colors because they are all coming to the top and that navy is sinking. That's exactly what happened in the last one. So I think what I'm going to do is put the navy down first. Just do a nice row at the top and at the bottom, or top and bottom, either way. And then, let's see, this as well. Okay, right through the center. Now I'm just going to do the ribbon pour straight through here. let it develop and spread a little bit. A large blob just came out, so let's go see if we can rescue whatever's in there. Okay, so the rest of this is just developing. I'm going to do a small tilt. Okay. That part's good. Let's see. Now that's a good drizzle right in my white paint. That's not good. So what I'm going to do is put a little white up at the top here and see if I can manipulate this one side. This is the cup of white that had a little bit of color fall into it. It's made quite a pretty ribbon. So I think we'll just end up dumping it all out. I think I just saw a blob come out too. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, a little surgery there. Okay, since I know this canvas is messed up, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can make mountains out of it. I actually do have a kind of semi-neat looking mountain scape going here. So I'm going to see if I can fill in some of these areas that do not want to accept this paint and See if it'll just dry really thick in those spots. Do the same thing down here. Just drop this white out on the canvas. I can always come back after it dries and then sand down those spots and add white to it. But right now, the main thing is to try to keep this looking like a mountain. And if I can shove this paint up into more of a point, I can get that out of there. There we go. Let's do the same over here. We'll take our extra puddle of white, scoot that on over. Now all we want is just a little bit of a point. Not all mountains are super pointy. We do want some type of mountainous look. Alright, and I think I've just found something else that I really like, which is this wispy color. As it got into the white and I poured it out, it made this neat kind of ghostly little band across there, and I think I'm going to do that again in a different painting. Let's see. Alright, get this to level out just a little bit. I really wanted more of this blue to show up, but there's really nothing I can do about that. I can try to slide it a little bit. Sorry for my arm in your way. Okay. So I think if I do anything else with that, I'm going to mess it up. So let's see if we can use the other end of the stick. Get that blue off of there. Use the other end of the stick to make this look less bulbous and more mountainous. I think I'm gonna have to put more white there. Just put some on. Sometimes you have to use your paint to manipulate your whole image. Okay. Alright, so that got that to more of a top instead of a round hump. Alright, some of these other areas filled in, they will continue to try to bubble up from the bottom. So we'll just let that dry and see what we can fix after it dries. Sometimes that's what you have to do. But anyways, thanks for watching, and Sandy, I'll talk to you later.